All right, so this is The End of Oak Street. It's written and directed by David Robert Mitchell. I've seen the trailer for this a good amount of times, like before the movies I've seen in the theaters lately. I've constantly seen it, and I was like, "Wow, this looks interesting, right? Some cool sci-fi stuff, maybe even mystery element to it." And so I was like, "Yeah, I'll definitely go see that." But I almost didn't go see this because of personal shit that was going on. But I did end up going to see it the other day. All right, so in this we have the Platt family. We have Greg Platt, the father, played by Owen McGregor, and Denise Platt, the mother, played by Anne Hathaway, and then they have their son and their daughter and their dog. Um, they have family stuff going on. There's some issues between Greg and Denise, between the parents, and potentially some divorce conversations are going to be had as a result of them constantly arguing and things like that. But some weird things are happening in their neighborhood where there's like a light that happens, and then all of a sudden there's like a strange plant in somebody's yard and things like that. So one night, another light happens, and they lose their power and things like that. They go outside, and it turns out that their neighborhood has been transported back into like the age of like the dinosaurs, and there's dinosaurs all around them, things like that. And obviously, this is dangerous, right? People are getting, eaten by dinosaurs, chased by dinosaurs. It's chaos. And so, with this happening, you're following this family trying to figure out, okay, how do they survive, and how do they potentially get back? It seemed like impossible. Like they're just gonna die to dinosaurs like everybody else at some point. So I like this movie. I did think it was interesting, just like I thought the trailer was. I think the performances are all good, especially I think Anne Hathaway is the standout here. She does a lot in this. They really give her agency in this. She definitely she's the one handling the gun and everything, shooting the dinosaurs. There's a picture that you see which establishes that she does have a history with being able to use guns. She's mostly driving whenever they're in the car. She's leading the family a lot of times. They really give a lot to Anne Hathaway in this, and she's great. The movie looks good for the most part, cinematography wise. I really like that shot. I think it's in the trailer where you get to see this big cliff, and you finally get to see the neighborhood, and you have like the prehistoric like dinosaur, the plants and the dinosaurs and things, and that looks great. Right? I really like that. There's one aspect of you know, of this movie when it comes to the way it's shot that I'm like, I didn't really care for that. There's one little piece of it that's kind of gimmicky, but for the most part, it's a good looking movie. I like the CGI for the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs all look great, and there's a nice variety. Like there's a there's this like snake like slithering dinosaur in it, and that one was really like disturbing to look at, like gross, but it was really cool. And the tension in this movie, right? Like it really builds suspense. Like there's a lot of times where characters will just be like, just casually doing what they do, whatever, especially as the things really, happen early on when they first get transported. And you just see somebody just casually doing whatever they're doing or whatever, and then you'll see a dinosaur running towards them and or something like that, or something will be happening in the background, and you're just like anticipating it catching up to the person, or yeah, there's some really good suspense when it comes to that stuff. I was a little worried, right? I was a little worried because I was like, we got certain things in here that's a little too silly and kind of dumb, and I was thinking to myself, man, when it gets to the ending, it better not be some kind of dumbass M. Night Shyamalan like bullshit. And I don't think it was that, right? It wasn't that. I mostly found the ending satisfied. I had some questions, but with the way it ended, I was like, you know what? That's actually pretty good. As far as negatives, while we're on M. Night Shyamalan, there were definitely points in this where the dialogue was kind of off to me, right? Where I was like, why are they talking like that? Like it kind of threw me off at times with the dialogue. Also, even though I like the way this movie looks, like the points where the movie feels like, oh, we have a character right up on the camera, and there's somebody talking in the background and stuff like that. That to me felt like a gimmick. That didn't feel like it added anything to the movie or to those scenes. I didn't care for that either. Also, there's a question I had in this, and maybe I'm just dumb or I'm wrong, but You see the shot, which I like, of the of the neighborhood where it's at, and you see that giant cliff and stuff like that, and so they're clearly elevated, high above, the stuff around, the dinosaurs around, the plants and things like that. Um, how are the dinosaurs that can't climb or fly getting getting up on top of it, like to the neighborhood, to chase after the people and kill them? How's that happening? How are they getting up there? How's the T-Rex up there? Right. I was thinking that. I was like, okay, you have that giant cliff. It's like, whoa, that's really like intimidating and it looks great, but it made me question it. It really did. There's definitely silly things in here where I'm like, huh. Characters are doing things that don't really make sense, like dumb things. Like there's this, like the kids don't really have much going on, right? Like the son and the daughter, they don't really have much, as far as character. They mainly just when it comes to emotional stuff with them, is just reacting to their family potentially being split apart, the problems going on with their parents. But the son has this thing where it's like, oh, he's acting up because of problems at home and everything. It's affecting him. But they don't really do much with that. It's like, okay, he did something to this other kid, and now that other kid in the neighborhood, his older brother wants to beat his ass. He's chasing him and stuff like that. So he doesn't get a hold of him until everything is going on, right? So he puts him on the ground, he's punching him and everything, beating him up. And this is after, they've been transported, dinosaurs are killing people and stuff like that. I'm like, why do you even care about this right now? You should be caring about surviving. Right? Like even the brother's not even into it. The brother that he's beating him up for, he's like, hey, let's go. And he's still doing that. I was like, that's really stupid. But also the son does something where it's like, oh, come on. Right. Of course, like the dog goes missing when all this starts to happen. And then he sees the dog outside the window being chased by a dinosaur. And the kid actually, they got the windows boarded up and everything. Kid goes outside, and then the daughter, chases after him. And then, of course, the parents are going to have to go after them. So now the whole family is outside in danger because you wanted to go out there for the dog. And he didn't even got the dog, right? He lost sight of the dog as soon as he got outside. I was like, what are we doing? And that dog is the best survivor in this. This is one of those movies where it's like, okay, we want the dog to survive. We don't even want the dog to die off screen. It don't make no sense that this dog is still alive. No sense whatsoever. But hey, the dog's surviving all this shit. But I'm thinking to myself, man, if I was that kid's dad, if that was my son, I'd have grabbed him. I'm like, hey, what's wrong with you? What are you doing? Right? You going after the pet? You going after your dog? You just put all of us in danger, running around at night with a bow and arrow, like looking stupid for your dog. And at the very least, if you're gonna put us in danger like this, at least have the dog. You don't even have the dog. So that was ridiculous. Definitely characters doing things where I'm like, what are we doing here? So yeah, I'm gonna give this a good enough. I think it mostly delivers on what I saw from the trailer, what I thought was interesting from the trailer. So that is the end of Oak Street. Like I said, good enough. Definitely go see it. I recommend it, and that's it.